Hello everyone, and welcome to my Final Fantasy XIV review. Before I get started, I just want to say that this review is completely my opinion, so of course there's going to be people that disagree with me, other people that agree with me. The main point of it, basically, I'll just say it right now, is that this game is a vast improvement of what it was. I don't know how many people watching this video actually played the game before, but those of you who didn't play, the game was a train wreck when it came out. Bugs, glitches, performance issues, combat was kind of sluggish and slow. There was actually some people that couldn't even respawn. They would die and they would have to make a new character. Graphically, no problems at all. The game looks awesome, but I mean, that was as far as it went. And then of course the Final Fantasy developers came out and apologized. They even had a complete restructure of the development group, and now it's getting better. It's still not there yet. Still a lot of problems in performance and things like that, but for the most part it's good. So this review, I'm just gonna kind of do an up-to-date review, because I've noticed a lot of reviews on YouTube are really old reviews, and this is the first time that I've only had it for about 3 days now, so I'm still kind of getting adjusted to it. But for me it was a difficult choice, because since I had heard it was always a train wreck and all the reviews are kind of old, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. So I'm going to be cutting in and out of the video to show you the combat, interface, or actually it's going to be interface, combat, and I guess I can show you some of the performance issues and things like that, but for the most part I'll show you how the game works, because it's very different than other MMOs. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the interface. Now, when the game came out, the interface was a pretty big mess. You had to use, I think it was IJKL to move the map around. You had to push enter to get the menu up, and it was just, I think you even had to use IJKL to move in the menu. It was a real pain, but now it's a little bit more simplified. You have your basic main menu right here, where it has everything, your attributes, gear, action, all that stuff. Here is your combat stance. On the bottom right corner is the second one you see. It basically toggles between active and passive. Of course, you don't have to click that. You can hotkey it, which I have it, I think, defaulted hotkey at F, as you can see there. You also have your, I believe this is your bag. Yeah, this is like your items. This is just in case you're in a fight, you can like quickly push it and use something. This is the fourth one here on the bottom right is your Link Pearl, I think it's called. That basically, instead of having to go all the way back to wherever you got your quest, you can just talk to the person from there. You got your emotes, which is number 5 down here on the bottom right. Doesn't really do much, but there's even a quest for using these things, so it's important to note that it's there. Number 6, I believe, is to lock the UI, or toggle UI lock. The 7th one is help, and the 8th one, the bottom right, is help text. I don't know what it is, but whatever. Now these, I think this is for when you target certain people. You can like add them into a party, check what equipment they have. So that's pretty much the bottom right over there. On the top right, you have your map. You got refresh rate, latency, ping, all that stuff is up here. You got your, I believe this is the moon phase, which I have no idea what it does, but I'm guessing it has different effects on the environment, because I have seen snowstorms and, I mean not snowstorms, sorry, sandstorms. And as you can see, it says current weather, clear, fine, cloudy. So I'm not sure what that full moon, half moon does, but we'll leave that like that for now. You have the date of Aorsa. This is not the actual date of the Earth time, because it is definitely not February the 22nd. I mean, I'm sorry, it's definitely not April the 22nd. It's in February. So, then on the bottom you have your usual experience. You have your health, mana, and TP. TP is kind of like how all the Final Fantasies had those criticals where you get hit and it builds up. Well, this is how you actually do your moves. Every time you hit somebody, your TP rises, and I'll go over that in combat. Then on the left you have your general chat and your battle chat. So next up we're gonna go to the character yeah, we'll do leveling up. Okay, so for those of you who are not used to, or I should say coming from different MMOs, they have a very unique and very peculiar way of leveling up, but I think it's for the good. I really like it. You basically start off, you create your character and you pick what you want him to do. You want him to be a warrior? Do you want him to be a magic user? Do you want him to be a crafter? Do you want him to be a gatherer? It doesn't really matter what you pick though, because you can switch at any time. It's a very flexible system. For instance, right now I have the Lancer. I'm playing as a Lancer and I'm level 8. And as you can see, the Lancers, they use a spear. Now, in order for me to, let's say, be a blacksmith, I would have to equip this hammer. Once you equip the hammer, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but on the bottom over here where it says Lancer level 8, it should change. See, now it says blacksmith level 5. Now I'm level 5 because I've been training my blacksmith, but if I were to, let's say, put on fishing rod, I haven't done fishing. You put the fishing rod on, as you can see I'm a fisher level 1. So then if you go and fish, you'll gain experience for that level. So that's pretty cool because, you know, you only need one character in this game. You don't need to have two because you can pretty much do whatever you want with that one character. If for instance I all of a sudden wanted to be a conjurer, I just put on the cane and that's it. I've become a conjurer class, so I can level him up. So it has good flexibility there. You also notice when I change classes, here I'll put minor, my health actually goes down. Also my skill tree changes. Here I have throw a rock, detect something, but when I put the spear on, I have the actual Lancer abilities. So it has very good flexibility, and you really only need one character for this game. So I forgot to go over the journal itself. Journal is basically where it's like any other game where you have your quest line and things like that, but this one actually includes a history. So let's say that you do a quest and then you don't go and play the game for 2 days and you forgot what you did. It actually has a history of everything you've done, so you can keep track of pretty much what you've done so far. It gives you the pretty much the summary on top, what you got to do, and your rewards right in the middle. So next, did I cover everything with combat? Well, actually I'm gonna go show you some combat, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here I'm going to show you some combat. So like I said, you have to, before you can even battle, you have to go into combat stance, which the default key is F. And then you have to click on the actual unit you want to attack. So let's say I want to attack this guy, I'll click on him and it'll highlight him, but you still can't attack him. You have to click on one more time, and then that's when you'll actually be in attack mode. Now right now I'm too far away. I'm going to get close to him and I'm going to start an auto attack. This is something new that they added after release. They didn't used to have an auto attack. Now my character depends on TP to fight. I have to build up TP in order to use moves. Now right now I have 1,000, which means I could use number 1, but I'm gonna hold out now so I can show you, because this guy's kind of weak. So I'm gonna go find somebody else so I can show you some moves. Combat right now is kind of slow, but I think that's just because I'm low level. Now, the cool thing about combat is, with this move I'm going to use, if I'm behind them I have a better chance of critical. There I did 44 damage. I think the usual is about 37. And sometimes you get criticals when you do that move when it's executed from behind the target. So you can see that it is kind of slow, the combat itself, and especially when you're fighting 2 people at a time, it can be really annoying when you have to click on one. And then you have to go and switch to the other, because you have to click twice every time. So if you miss a click, it'll completely clear the clicks and you have to do it all over again. So the combat, at least for right now in the early level, still needs work. But I have been told when I get to level 10 I'll start getting combo moves, which means I can do let's say the first move, and then I can do the third move and combine them together to do a more powerful move. But I haven't been able to do that yet, so I'm gonna leave that out of the review for now. Next we're gonna go to the town and show you a little bit of the town. Actually, before I show you the town, I'm going to show you the map. Now the map, it's a little bit better than it was before. It's still a little crazy, but it at least has your actual where you're at for people who are having trouble, because there weren't names, and Well, you'll see when I get back to the town what kind of problems. In fact, I'm just gonna teleport there. And the town I believe I'm gonna show you is Ulda. There's 3 different towns you can start off with. One is Gridania, the other one is Loneska, I think, which is like a ocean kind of starting city, I guess. It's like off the ocean or something. And then there's this one, which is Ulda, which I like. It's by the desert, and it definitely has the best music out of the 3. Okay, so here we're in the town. It's gonna lag a little bit. Or not lag, it's gonna jump a little bit, I should say, the frame rate. That's just because I'm in town. In town it's always like this, jumping around because there's so many people. And plus I have fraps running, so that definitely doesn't help. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you the map for the town. As you can see, imagine all these names gone. Like for instance, here you see the Quicksand Adventures Guild. Imagine that not being there. And then they tell you the quest to go to the Quicksand Adventures Guild. You would literally have to run around this whole place to find out where that was. That's different. Now it's different. Now they actually have everything named, so it's a lot easier to get around. And you'd be surprised how much of a relief that is. I mean, I probably wouldn't have bought this game if I had to search every single corridor. But fortunately they fixed that. But they still need to work a little bit on the maps. I mean, maybe, I guess they were trying to go for that feel of a old kind of map, you know, one that you kind of just pull out. But I would just prefer a more neat map, something more intuitive, I guess. Also, something that they fixed is now you can left click and hold and then just move the map around. Before you had to use I, J, K, and L. But the problem was they wouldn't tell you that you had to use it like that. They wouldn't tell you what the letters were in order to move the map. So people were trying to figure out how to move the map. And all these things, they might sound like it's not a big deal, but it can be really bad when you first get the game and you don't know what you're doing and nobody's telling you what to do. And there wasn't really no tutorial at the time. I'm gonna go ahead and think of what's next that I should show you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you the synthesize, which is basically like the crafting for this game. So we're gonna go ahead and click the bottom right corner over here. There's like a little anvil. That's basically because I'm a blacksmith right now. It says open synthesis interface. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You have to be in passive mode in order to do it. As you see, my guy's kneeling down, and now I'm gonna do a recipe I already know. Let's do copper ignite. Now you don't start off with all the recipes. You actually either have to learn them or do quests in order to learn them, or just experiment. In this case, I needed 4 copper ores to make a copper nugget, or at least 12 of them, I think. So we're gonna click on main hand here. Now you also need fire shard. Well, you need a crystal. In this case, I need fire shards. I need 10 of them. I have 149, so I can do it. Also, if you go to a common smith's forge, I believe you get a better chance of getting a good quality item, and I'll explain that now. I like the crafting in this game. It's a change of pace. Alright, so for right now I'm just going to click standard synthesis because I'm running out of time, but basically you have your time bar here where you have to make a choice between standard, rapid, and careful synthesis or waiting. Now, if you do standard synthesis, you're going to get a regular hit on whatever it is you're making, and what that'll do is just increase the progress without losing too much durability. You also want to try to wait for when it gets kind of white for it to succeed, or if you want to be very risky and you want to make a really high quality item, you go it when it's colorful or when it's sparking. I'm gonna do standard synthesis again. Durability is, if this gets to 0, your item will break, no matter if you finished it or not. If this reaches 0, you basically lose that item and all the stuff that you used to make that item. So right now I'm at 40%, so I'm gonna do a careful synthesis. Now what careful does is it increases your quality. Now, oh, and I failed it there. As you can see, it exploded. It means I failed, and now it's blinking, which means it's unstable. If you try to do it now, it has less chance of succeeding, but it also has a higher chance of getting sparks. And if it gets sparks, it means it's about to destroy. And it failed again, so I'm gonna wait till it gets white and then do a rapid synthesis. Yellow means it's in between. I think red means it's about to become unstable, and white means it's in good condition. Rapid basically increases progress by a lot. As you can see, it increased by I think 26%. But if you fail it, the durability takes a huge hit. So you have to be very careful. Now, you might be asking what the quality has to do with anything. Quality is how you make good items. For instance, let's say that you're making a spear for my guy, and you want to make a spear that, let's say, is a rare spear, right? You would have to get your quality at about maybe 250, 300. I've heard that 300 is the first tier. If you get your quality to 300 and you've done very risky maneuvers on the actual color itself, then you have a good chance of making a high quality item, which basically what it does is give you better statistics on that item. I don't know why I waited there, but let's do standard again. So you want to try to get as much quality as possible in these items without making it break. You also want to take, if you want to make a really good quality item, you want to take risky maneuvers. Oh, and it doesn't look like I'm gonna get this item because I just pretty much messed it up. Nope, broke. See, I got to 100%. Unfortunately, I had durability 0. Now, even though I failed it, I still got 90 experience. But unfortunately, I lost everything that I used to make it, and I didn't even get the item. You know, let me see if I have. Okay, here, like you can see here, it says, or if you guys can, I'll tell you what it says. Moko grass, right? On the top one. On the bottom one, it says Moko grass +1. Now, Moko grass is used for some type of recipe. If I use Moko grass +1 in the recipe, it'll actually increase my starting quality, so it'll start maybe at 70 quality. And so you can see also like how I was making that copper nugget. You want to try to make that with the best quality as possible, because if you get +1 nuggets, then that means that you're gonna have a better chance of making a quality item for whatever that resource is used for, whatever recipe. It's not really confusing. Maybe I'm just confusing you guys more, but I think the crafting is pretty cool. It's really a change of pace and something that you can do. You can just pick it up. You know, you go do your leveling, and then you want to take a break. You just, you know, you get like this guy. You just sit at the steps and do your crafting and try to get good items. Now, one of my major complaints is the auction house. There is no auction house, but it's like they call it a retainer, and you basically have to go to this area called the market wards, and it's a completely separate area with like 12 different areas, and each one is split up into fieldcraft area. There's a actual individual areas for culinary, for botanists, for lancers, for pretty much every single class. And in order for you to find what you want, you have to go to that market ward and see what people are selling. You have to click on their actual retainer, and it's not as easy as having an auction house where you just go up to one guy and he shows you everything that's being sold. You know, it's really a hassle to have to go over there and look at every single person and see if you can find something that's of worth. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys now my conclusion to the review. I'll be right back. In the end though, I would give this maybe a 7.5 in the state it is now. And unfortunately, some people might buy this game, they'll see how bad it is now, or I wouldn't say how bad it is now, but they would see how it is and they won't like it, and then they won't be able to experience 2.0. If you still don't know if you're gonna like this game or not, I would wait until about October, November, because that's when they're gonna release the new version of this, which is supposed to be changed pretty much completely. Maps are gonna be different. Combat is supposed to be entirely different. But for the most part, if you feel that you want to give it a shot, I would recommend it, because it's for $10, it's a pretty good game, especially when you get the first month free. I mean, you can try it. If you mess up, it's $10. You know, I mean, that's 2 $5 subways, so it's not that big of a waste. But yeah, I would probably give it a 7.5. And this is a updated review, so in about 2 months, 3 months, when they come up with some more updates, or maybe even in the next one, once they add the jobs, I'll review the actual update and see if it's improved, because I think this game is gonna get better and better to the point where it's actually gonna be that people are gonna want to play this. I'll be the first one to tell you that when it came out, it was not what was expected. So yeah, that's it, guys. If you guys like Final Fantasy 13, you might want to check this out, because it's Final Fantasy 13 with more players, or at least the story is, and the way they do the cutscenes and things like that. The combat isn't, but yeah, I give it a 7.5.